Describe him to me.
What'd you expect? He's a tall, sick bastard with a bad rash and torn old clothes. William used to be strong. Now he's a mess.
Thank you, Tom.
If you see him, tell him I don't want him back here unless he cleans up his act, okay?
It's a good thing you cannot see me now.
I think I'm losing my mind. I should just run as far away from this place as I can.
Damn it. I think
I will get to the bottom of this intrigue. What's been done to me, to this city? The body is still warm. This man has just been drained of blood. This man was armed. He tried to defend himself. What's this? Some sort of note. This corpse has been dried of its blood, just like the previous victim. Blood and empty gin bottles. This Bishop fellow is something of a heavy drinker. There are blood splats on the other side of the canal. I must reach that barge.
Nothing here. Let's head back to a warm fire.
Shut that foolish mouth of yours. You ever known McCullum to be wrong about anything?
Right. No time I can remember. But I've only been part of the guard 3 weeks to the day.
All the more reason to...
Steady, boys! We've got one of them here! Stupid beast!
Fuck! He's dead!
This one's a top! Watch it! It's a killer!
Fresh blood. The whole building reeks of it. The scent is so strong it makes me dizzy.
You see, I mean... As one, we shall overcome. Overcome this. We've done it before. No. I had a drink outside tonight. It did not quench my thirst.
This place reeks of bloodshed.
William, please stop. Just a sip, I promise.
This creature is bedeviled. I must put it down.
William, please, stop. William was an honorable man. I could have saved him.
Mr. Hampton, are you in there?
We knew him well, another lost soul, a kindred spirit.
Sir, listen to the sound of my voice. I'm a doctor. You're suffering from shock.
I must return to my flock. They'll stray without me.
Remember, certain skulls are every bit as resistant as we are.
Who are you? What do you mean by skull?
You truly are a newborn. I should have realized.
Wait. You are the woman from the bar. Are you... like me? Can you help me?
I believe, sir, I already have.
By George and the Saints, you've solved the mystery of these terrible murders. Patience, good fellows, I've come to offer help. Just give me a moment to secure my boat. We can leave this awful place.
William was not the evil man they claimed. He was just taken by the thirst. He needed his drink.
This man requires medical attention. We'll see he gets to the nearest hospital.
No, please, I must tend to my fold. My flock needs me.
There, sir. Go with the good Dr. Swansea. He's resourceful, and I'm sure he'll take good care of you.
You'd best come as well. The sun is soon to rise, and you'll need a place to rest.
I just need a moment. If I can learn something about what has happened to William, I'll be a step closer to understanding what happened to me.
This poor creature can't be my maker. Could it be some subspecies of vampire? I must find a place to analyze the blood.
Where are we headed?
We're on our way to the Pembroke Hospital. It's just across the canal. They'll have a bed for poor Mr. Hampton.
William was... What manner of creature was he?
Predator, prey, villain, and victim. Who can say? The important thing is that he's been stopped.
Duly noted. And the woman? What... Who is she?
What woman?
Oh, don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that Skal. You must know who she is.
And I thought you a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back, but I will tell you she values her privacy. Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Dr. Swansea?
I am the administrator of Pembroke Hospital.
I thought you were here in service of your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
Of St. Paul's Stole, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself, Dr. Reed.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reed, a surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
I knew it! I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reed. Marvelous.
Have we met?
I attended 3 of your seminars before the war. I have the utmost admiration for your research. And what a turn of fate. England's most esteemed blood specialist returns to London a vampire.
That word, again. From a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth, but when myth walks among us, the Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
Of that, you are right.
Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before contracting this... affliction.
Dr. Reed, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed, and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
It seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Dr. Swansea, thank goodness. I was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy,
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reed here has just returned from the front. He served King and Country and will be joining us here at Pembroke. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes. Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, but what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and the staff that our ship doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea, immediately.
Welcome aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. Coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming.
You can do better than that. Nah. It's my turn.
Rotten or pristine, each heart contains the seeds of life. Drink at this river, try it all.
Oh, come on, you bastard. I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
Alright, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
have the guts to fight me. Fuck you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
To taste a life, to embrace its most intimate secrets. Such a burden, such a divine sin.
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I apologize, nurse. I needed some time to myself. This has been the longest and strangest night of my life.
You delivered poor Mr. Hampton from a terrible fate. The means to that end should be of little concern, Doctor.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office has been prepared.
I would like to ask a few questions first. And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in, how does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
Thank you, Nurse Crane. Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research. Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Do you need my medical attention, dear colleague?
You don't have to worry about me, Dr. Reed. I am here to assist you, not to be a burden.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time. Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
Reads me like a book.
Discussed on every street corner. A daily routine.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
Soldier, do you need assistance?
I'm fine. Just do something for this pain, will you? That's all I'm asking.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Damn. The pain. It's here again.
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
This is no place for you, sir. Sir! Step away now! I said stay away, sir!
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin. The flower's dying. It needs water. The flower's dying. It needs water. William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time now. If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn. And to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood?
Dr. Swansea asked me to collect you, Dr. Reed. Hurry up! Dr. Swansea asked me to collect you, Dr. Reed. Hurry up!
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
What type of hospital are you running? No antiseptics?
You have been away too long, Doctor. With the war and now this epidemic, supplies have been running scarce for months now.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse. Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza. Balls of Mars, fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful. It's locked. This key will surely grant me access to the basement. These scowls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're much after blood. It's locked, all right. Mr. Connor's injurers don't match the report. I'd better look into this. Skulls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting. Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage. Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
No, it was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul. Or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Do you require my services, Miss Howcroft?
I have no need for your medicine, Dr. Reed. Blood is the only drug I need.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities. Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital, instead of a burden.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly.
We're here to save lives.
I don't intend to run any radical...
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego.
I don't know what you've heard about me, but
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed.
And what exactly?
I served in the war, just like you.
Be careful what you insinuate.
I only want you to admit you...
I don't see any reason...
That's true, Dr. Reed.
It seems you have bad...
I refuse to see this industrial...
We can at least agree on some... Thank you for your time. Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick.
What can you tell me?
Not much.
Are you really that rich?
Yes, thanks to my...
May I ask if...
I'm a teacher by profession.
What do you think of your...
I have had the uttermost reservations.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social...
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son.
She charged you for a bed? I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
I'm all right.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No.
Really? Why are you...
I don't want to talk.
I suppose that this pain is...
Yes.
Could you at least tell me your...
Mortimer.
I have to go now, sir. But...
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
You always knew the words to calm the children.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor.
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle.
Duty calls? When the...
Many thanks, Doctor.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, Doctor.
Goodbye. Good evening.
I'm okay.
How painful.
So painful, I'd rather...
I'll let you get...
I'm all right.
Good evening, Mr. Gott.
I'm okay.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir.
You are not a burden, sir.
And you have my gratitude.
Tell me about...
I don't want to...
I have to go now, sir.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, Doctor.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Oh, sweet girl.
Good evening, sir.
I don't know if a third opinion is...
I see.
I'm Harvey Fiddick.
Are you...
Well,
I won't...
Are you sure you don't want to...
In other circumstances, you would... Tell me about...
I'm just a regular guy.
I was more curious about what you...
I'm a carpenter. And a good one, too.
Tell me about the doc...
Strickland and Ackroyd.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a bill.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
I will not let you...
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Doctor.
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded.
With the influenza and all the...
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend...
So you believe it's just...
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is...
What can you tell...
Well, it has always been an honor to...
You seem quite optimistic.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a...
Questions remain about Drew.
Last summer...
Please...
I'm a great admirer.
I based my technique on my mentor...
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theater.
As long as you're cautious and methodical... You may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me. But I am
What made you...
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your...
It's always a pleasure to share...
This epidemic may be the century...
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient...
What is it you really want?
Fair question.
Tell me, Mr.
Our first diagnosis was...
But why would he hide?
Because he is a proud...
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr.
Do you think keeping his...
All I know is that I'm taking...
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Dr. Reed, may I help you?
What can you tell me?
Every day
news on...
It seems...
What
this
can...
Well...
For how long?
I first...
And before you...
If you must know...
Well, doctors...
Not in an official...
What about...
Dr. Reed, we don't have...
How is the duty?
Everybody works until they can't. If there's...
I'll see you later, Nurse Crane.
Doctor, I will not let you down, my boy.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me.
How could your job be responsible?
I was working a double.
You can't hold yourself...
Of course I didn't hurt myself.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the...
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb...
I'm sorry.
I would like...
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Ellen didn't bring them with her that night.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
My sweet girl.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated.
How would you describe...
It's serious.
Nurse,
I wish I could believe...
you must...
Sorry.
How long...
We're long in...
You'd be surprised what...
Sorry, Doc.
How is...
Not well. Milton...
Why is Milton...
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered...
Why does...
I don't know. Just ask...
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
They may lack the resources, but we have some of them.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea. But my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
It may seem strange, but...
Forgive me. I've been...
There is no need to apologize.
Very well. I have a task for you.
Please.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself...
A spokesman or politician.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan.
And you would like me...
By the stole, of course not.
Accepted. I'll see what...
My sweet girl. Reads me like a book.
Time with me.
have Dr. Reed, you know. I met him in New York.
If only there were more of us.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true.
Do we know it?
Actually, yes.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember.
He was also very confident.
Have you heard of any underhand...
I have no time for so...
What is the...
This hospital...
It's more than enough.
Don't be misled by appearances.
What can you tell me?
Some are really good and up...
Tell me more about...
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the...
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she...
Any opinion?
I don't always agree with Dr.
Ah, yes, the burden of
Don't get me wrong. Swan...
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett. Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr...
Dr. Swansea has already...
Did he really?
All members of staff have already read it.
I see.
You must know, blood transfusions are
How often?
not good, to say the...
And...
Sorry, Doctor.
Do you think this hospital...
We are all volunteers.
I'm not familiar with all the...
Brilliant professionals.
Most of them.
It would be inappropriate...
Nurse Brannigan, if you do...
No. I may disagree.
Is there anyone...
Well, I have never...
Why should his aid...
I guess it's fair to say is always...
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet Lady of Mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to...
You're a vamp... The lady...
Indeed.
Apologies.
The pleasure is...
I hope you're more disposed...
You must have countless questions.
Pardon my boldness,
As a newborn, your hunger for answers is rival...
I'm a scientist.
I will gladly answer every question you have, but for...
Have any of the patients...
These poor souls have...
The world would be a better...
You make me blush.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter.
These past insufferable...
Who would be so...
Even if it were the case...
If we're dealing with an order...
As immortal tradition doth dictate, all fangs and head...
What are your expectations?
As the newly appointed surgeon of...
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only...
Is it true?
Now aren't you the blunt one?
We both are afflicted with a thirst for blood, Lady Ashbury. That is our nature. By vocation, we also have reason to visit the hospital. Logic dictates.
In all honesty, I'm not simply a patron to the hospital. My visits serve a dual purpose. Dr. Swansea has been treating my condition with a revolutionary technique of blood transfusion. It seems you are a specialist in the domain.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself.
I'll meet that woman.
My life is our little mystery.
I think of nothing.
My situation is that...
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor.
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in this hospital?
There are a lot of secrets round here.
What kind of secret?
I'm not in the gossip business, Dr. Reed. If you want to know more, you better talk to Harriet Jones. She's the oldest patient here.
Are you really smuggling weapons?
And why not? I've already been attacked by...
But you're not defending yourself.
You keep people alive your own way, Doc.
How is this?
You want to hear the situation?
So what do you...
I've been in ambush.
It's...
Yesterday I got attacked by them.
You left an infected patient outside...
Go there yourself if you want.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity? Why do you have such a
Fuck them. Nobody knows the...
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd like to see...
Wise choice, Dr. Reed.
Good evening, Mr. Albert.
Evening.
How is yours?
Oh, it's bliss.
Can I ask you precisely...
It's the pain, sir.
Can I do anything?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills.
Who is treating you?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke.
You don't seem worried.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry.
Have you heard
If you want to know what's going...
Where were you
I really don't want...
No offense.
You were an officer, weren't you?
How close are you to Miss Hawcroft?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason.
Aren't you afraid?
She's quite harmless.
So do you let her bite you?
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood.
She could decide to bite...
And it's another good reason for me...
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars.
Goodbye.
Simpletons, these nurses. Bred with no respect. What? What? What is this? Who are you?
There's no need for alarm, madam.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
Please, calm down, madam. I assure...
How brave.
Harriet Jones?
Oh, better than any patient nurse or...
I heard there have been some
Blackmail?
You seem to know more about...
That's it. Blame the old and infirm.
If I didn't know better, Miss Jones...
God's honest truth, Doctor. It's just...
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round. Miss Jones,
Again?
Now,
Well,
have you noticed any suspicion?
it would be a great deal easier to make a list of...
Come now, Miss Jones.
Have you no eyes?
Everyone here is very...
Thieves and murderers, the lot.
If you could just tell me...
It's terrible, Doctor. What with a pet...
I see.
No one comes to visit, you know.
I'll... The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them. Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Doc.
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones. Do not pay attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
She could have been telling the truth about the mysterious man.
That old witch will end up in hell soon enough. Who cares if a nurse finds some happiness where she can?
No matter how you feel...
Who says I don't care for her?
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Please, Doctor.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sorry.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory.
You remained perfectly nice.
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief.
How do you feel?
I feel exhausted.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
What do you do?
I manage a night asylum for the poor and...
Are you a
Not at all, Doctor.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Have you made friends?
Not really. But I recognize Miss Harriet Jones.
You never came to see her here at
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor.
How did you end up?
I had received alarming news about...
Why did he abduct?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed.
Do you know Tom Watts?
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then?
Not really. Most men...
People are still...
How could it be otherwise?
What is the general...
The situation has always been tough.
Who leads?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Dooth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint.
How did you...
I had
You dared to enter this awful...
I'm just a man trying...
Goodbye, mister. Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters.
At the same time.
Where are they hiding? I should investigate. Good evening.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir.
A colleague?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be
What do you mean?
You know, sir. It is just that I like to be precise.
Have you heard of someone black...
Pardon me, sir.
Do you work...
Yes?
What? What? Are you...
What?
That's... Have we met?
I went funny.
Since you're not afraid of dying,
Do you? No. I believe...
do you think you would enjoy...
I don't think so.
Do you really...
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die... Goodness.
Quite depressed?
Yes.
So you...
No, I am not. I don't fear death.
You're a wise man.
No, Dr. Reed.
Up.
Yes, sir.
Who comes here?
I'm very cautious.
What kind?
With the quarantine.
Goodbye, Mr.
Good evening.
Please show me.
Of course. It's just drink.
I cannot enter.
I'm sorry you ended up on my plain and cold medical bench, sir. I understand you must be very angry about this unfair situation. I managed to arrange to have you buried in the same mass grave as your wife. I hope that might help.
It's locked. I cannot enter.
I'm sorry you ended up on my plain and cold medical bench, sir. I understand you must be very angry about this.
They belong.
Life running in your veins.
Oh, please spare me, Dark Queen. Spare me.
Please, sir.
What's going on?
I'm Blight, sir. Newton
I'm Dr.
Oswald and myself were
How long? Don't be ashamed, Mr. Blight. This is a dangerous...
We were looking for the Pembroke...
What can you tell...
I'm Oswald's best...
What can you tell...
His name is Oswald Thatcher.
Where would...
He went down by the canal.
I have all...
Thank you. Have you found Oswald?
Not...
All right.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
No thanks, sir.
Don't worry, we're safe. Don't worry, we're safe.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I have to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals. Or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
He's locked the door behind him. I need to find another way to follow him. This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor.